Thank you for turning to page 121. We're just finishing up this scary time of year, and I thought I'd go the other direction today. We're going to take a look at a fine spell that most players I know really value, and that is the fine Raise Dead spell. This spell is really good at need. It's a 5th level cleric spell, so you have to be 9th level to cast it. Raise Dead, level 5, range 30 feet, which is interesting. It's not touch. Duration is permanent. Area of effect 1 person. Verbal and somatic components. 1 round casting time, and saving throw is special. When the cleric casts a Raise Dead spell, he or she can restore life to a dwarf, gnome, half-elf, halfling, or human. Interesting that a half-orc. The length of time the person has been dead is of importance, as the cleric can raise dead persons only up to a certain point, the limit being 1 day for each level of experience of the cleric. A 9th level cleric can raise a person dead for up to 9 days. Note that the body of the person must be whole, or otherwise missing parts will still be missing when the person is brought back to life. So if they had an arm cut off by a sort of sharpness, and that's what killed them, if you don't have some other way to reattach the arm, they'll come back, but they'll come back with only 1 arm. Also, the resurrected person must make a saving throw, specialized saving throw, to survive the ordeal. It's a system shock roll. Let's learn a Constitution. The higher your Constitution, the better your system shock. If you fail your system shock, the spell fails and you are dead. It doesn't say that they can't try again. That's an interesting question I've actually never had come up. Furthermore, the raised person is weak and helpless in any event, and he or she will need 1 full day of rest in bed for each day he or she was dead. The somatic component of the spell is a pointed finger. The reverse of the spell, Slay Living, allows the victim to a saving throw, and if it is successful, the victim sustains damage equal only to that caused by serious wounds. That would be 3 to 17 points of damage, so 2d8 plus 1. An evil cleric can freely use the reverse spell. A good cleric must exercise extreme caution in the employment, being absolutely certain that the victim of the Slay Living spell is evil, and that his or her death is a matter of great necessity and for good. Otherwise, the alignment of the cleric will be sharply changed. Note that newly made undead, excluding skeletons, which fall within the days of being dead, are affected by Raise Dead spells cast upon them. So if your friend got turned into a zombie and is shuffling on to attack you, and you hit him with a Raise Dead, he survives a system shock roll, then yeah, he's back. The effect of the spell is to cause them to be resurrected dead, providing the Constitution permits survival. Otherwise, they are simply dead. So it's interesting. It implies that here, by saying they are simply dead, it implies that it would negate the zombie, the Raise Dead spell, or not Raise Dead, but the Animate Dead spell that was used to turn them into a zombie. So that's kind of an interesting thing. Again, I've never had come up, but it would be an interesting talking point at the table as to whether the person who died was turned into a zombie and then brought back with a Raise Dead. They failed the system shock. Do they stop being a zombie and are just dead? Because that's the spell says. Otherwise, they are simply dead. Or do they stay as the animated corpse? It's interesting. It's a good question. Again, I've never had to answer it. The Raise Dead spell is really good. As I said, you've got to be a 9th level cleric to use it. And it'll bring back dwarf, gnome, half-elf, halfling, or human, all the player character races except half-orc, for whatever reason. And actually at my table I would allow a half-orc to be brought back by this as well. And as to using the reverse of this, Slay Living, I make that more of a judgment based on the deity and the behavior of the player character to that point, rather than if the person's truly evil. That comes the whole question of, okay, he's truly evil, you kill him with a Raise Dead spell, or rather, he's not truly evil, you kill him with a Raise Dead spell, ooh, that's bad, but you bash his head in with your mace, that's okay. That's always confused me in early AD&D, the distinction between an evil spell use and just plain killing someone. It's never really made a difference to me. It's never made a ton of sense. But there you have it. That's a nice look at a Raise Dead spell, one that absolutely your cleric should be carrying around with them. Now, that being said, we don't have many clerics at my table. It's never been a popular class at my table. So having somebody with a raised dead is actually valuable. And the other important thing about a raised dead is it says nothing about making the caster be debilitated in any way. So even though the caster has used this vast magic of 5th level spell at 9th level casting to raise dead, they are not debilitated in any way. I think that's kind of neat too. So there you have it. That's just a quick look at Raise Dead, now that we're on the flip side of the scary, scary Halloween time of year. Let me know what you think. Have you used this spell at your table? Have you seen the reverse used? I have. I had a player with an evil cleric at the old club I used to belong to, and he used Slay Living all the time if he could, and I had some good results with it. Saving throw, not that easy to make really, and you've got about a 40% chance of making the saving throw, or usually about 40% chance. So you got a good chance of it happening, but unfortunately it's saving throws being what they are, it's so common to have a save versus the spell that it ends up not being worth taking in the reverse form. But that's all I've got to say today on page 121 about Raise Dead. Let me know what you think. Have you used this at your table? If so, let me know. Also, any comments on allowing half-orcs to be raised? Let me know. I realize that their spirits are a little different, etc. But let me know. Also, any ideas for future videos. I always consider them. Take a look at the Patreon, see if you can help me out there. Like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on page 121.